Hello and welcome to Happy Vending. I'm Bill, and today we're going to be installing a brand new bill acceptor. Happy Vending. So I got something pretty neat today. This is a brand new Talos bill acceptor from CPI. CPI used to be MEI, which used to be Mars. They make bill acceptors, coin acceptors, and these are some of the most reliable ones. They're now owned by Crane Manufacturing, which owns a lot of vending companies now. And the Talos bill acceptor replaces the old reliable MEI 2000 bill acceptor. Now, I could have gotten an MEI 2000 series bill acceptor and put it on my machine, but I want to put a recycler on the machine that I'm installing this bill acceptor on. And you don't want to get a remanufactured recycler. The recycler is a separate unit that goes in the bottom of the bill acceptor and will give back bills as change. Instead of all the change coming in coins from the coin acceptor, you're going to get bills back in change. So I decided to go with this, the Talos bill acceptor, the latest and greatest with a brand new recycler. And hopefully it's going to prove to be reliable, because I did hear with the 2000 series, some people did have issues with the recycler that went on that. So let's open this up. I just got this today. We'll see what comes with it. I bought this direct from Crane. I tried to buy it from some other companies like Vendors Exchange and some of the big companies. Nobody had them in stock with the compact bezel for a drink machine and the recycler on it. So I got it direct from Crane. They did have them in stock. I see it comes with some of these labels that would go on there. Depending on how I have it configured would determine what stickers I put on there, what bills it accepts. It comes with not the full directions, just some programming instructions here. This is one way to program it. You can fill in almost like a test, like a bubble sheet test, what bills you want it to accept and some of the basic configuring of the bill acceptor, and then you feed this into the bill acceptor, almost like a dollar bill. And here is the bill acceptor itself. It comes with a 500 note cartridge on the back to hold your bills. It has a spot here for a sticker. Depending on what notes you're going to accept, you can put this sticker right there. The recycler is down here on the bottom, this part of it. And this will only hold 30 bills. And I'm going to set it to hold dollar bills. So it can only hold up to $30 bills before it starts putting the bills up into the main bill hopper up here. So if I had it accept 20s, it would be, giving out 19 ones or 18 ones, and then that's going to deplete it really quick. You can have the recycler hold 5s instead of 1s, but then if somebody puts a 5 in, it can't give a $5 bill change, so then it would have to give, whenever somebody puts a 5 in, it would have to give coins for change for 5, and I don't have a big coin acceptor in this machine. So I'm just going to have the machine take 5s, 10s, and 1s, and it will store 1s in the recycler. You can program the recycler with this menu on the back. There's also an app which you can install on your phone to program the bill acceptor. But I am going to, like I said, use this piece of paper and fill that in the way I want it. Other than that, it comes with a spacer, which you could put on here, depending on what type of machine you have, whether you need that spacer, and then some nuts and some standoff spacers here. So I think first step is I'm going to make a photocopy of this and fill in the programming sheet. The first section here is what ways you want the bill to be accepted. One way, 2 ways, or all 4 ways. 4 ways means no matter what way, if they put it in upside down, any way they put the bill in, the bill acceptor will read it and accept it. Now, people that just want to accept the bills fast will just put it on 4-way. My only issue with that is my bank likes the bills at least face up. So if I do it 4-way, it takes a lot of time when you empty out the bills, that you have to go through them and put them all in the right direction, because I don't have a device that will automatically do that. So I'm going to put it 2-way, so I'm going to color in that with my number 2 pencil, Ticonderoga. Bill enables, second one here is this is what bills it will accept. Well, I want it to accept ones. I don't care. I'll let it take number $2 bills. Not many people have a $2 bill. I'm not going to advertise that it takes a $2 bill, but if they put one in there, I'll take it. I don't care. And it's going to accept 5s. I am also going to have it accept 10s. But we do not want it to accept 20s. So I'm going to say off for 20s. MDB interface, it tells you over here what these are. MDB level 2, use when accepting 20s. Well, I'm not accepting 20s. MDB level 3, use when recycling ones unless accepting 20s. Well, that's where I'm at. I'm not accepting 20s. I'm recycling out ones. That means the recycler will hold 31s and it's going to send them out. So L3 is where I'm at for this option. Number 4 here, recycled bill, determines which bill is sent to the recycler. Well, we're going to put ones in the recycler. It's going to hold 31s. I could have it hold 5s or 10s, but that won't work for me. Accept inhibit. Recycler, this says limits high value notes as inventory depletes. Say the recycler doesn't have a lot of bills in it anymore. Maybe it only has 3 bills left and somebody puts a 10 in it. The recycler no longer has enough money to give the change out of it, the dollar bills change. So what do you want it to do? If I turn on the inhibit, that means it won't take a $10 bill because the bill acceptor knows it can't give ones change. I'm probably going to leave this on because my coin acceptor is only a 3-column coin acceptor with 1 column of quarters. And if somebody puts a 10 in there, it's going to deplete almost everything out of the coin acceptor. It's going to give all its quarters, its dimes, its nickels, and it's going to take a really long time to do that. So I think it's just going to be best for the machine not to take a 10 if there's not enough ones in the recycler. So I'm going to turn on the accept inhibit. This is something I can decide later to turn off in the menu if I want to, but for now, I'm going to turn that on. And then number 6, acceptance mode. This is only for non-recycler models. I have a recycler, so I don't have to fill out that. Now I have to cut this out along the dotted line to make it the size of a dollar bill. I'm going to try to cut this out nice. There we go. That's ready to put in there and program this thing. Before I put it in the machine, though, I think I will stick on this little sticker here. I got a microfiber cloth, just going to get all the dust off of that because I want it to stick good. I'm going to put the one that says 1s, 5s, and 10s. This is just a sticker. Let's line it up in there. Got to get it centered. No. Oh, that's pretty good. Now everybody will know it accepts 1s, 5s, and 10s. I'm down here with my Royal G3 machine, and this has one of the MEI 2000 series bill acceptors. I mean, this still works, so I'm going to take this out and then use this as a spare. It's always good to have a couple bill acceptors as spares. Before you ever swap out a bill acceptor or coin acceptor or install a credit card reader, you always got to turn off the power in your machine. Otherwise, you can damage the electronics in these. So I'm just going to pull out the plug on this. So you open it up, go to the inside door. Here's the bill acceptor. I'm going to take out the bill hopper. I got my ratchet here with an extension and a deep socket. Makes it a little easier to get in there. This is a 9mm because these have 9mm nuts. You got to take off these nuts completely out. But the two on the bottom, you just have to loosen because you're going to pull the bill acceptor up. One on this side. Over time, these belts dry out and they need to be replaced. I don't do repairs on any of my bill acceptors. I send them out when they need servicing. These 2000 series MEIs are really workhorses. They run a long time, and I'm hoping this new Talos is as reliable as these 2000 series ones are. Before I loosen the nuts on the bottom, I'm going to unplug the MDB cord that goes to the bill acceptor. I'm looking at my cords here and I actually have them zip tied, so I'm going to have to cut the zip tie because the new bill acceptor does not use the same cord, so it's not like I can just simply plug this in. For right now, I'm just going to pull out the side plug out of the bill acceptor, but I'm going to have to cut this whole harness away. I'll do that after I get this out. You sometimes might want to take off this little plate or push this plate out of the way. I'm just going to take out the one screw and just push it up over and out of the way. Now I can get to these two bottom nuts pretty easily. Like I said, just loosen these. There we go. This is why you don't have to take the bottom nuts out completely, because they're just open on the ends. This plate is a security plate behind the point of sale window. I actually have my credit card reader mounted to the point of sale window, and I drilled a hole in it, and this yellow cord coming out is for the credit card reader. Here is the one MDB cord, and then the other one plugs into the coin acceptor, and that has to be unplugged as well. The new bill acceptor comes with its own cord to replace this, so I'll just keep this cord with my spare bill acceptor, which I just took out. Here we have the Talos. I'm going to take off the bill hopper. It's a little easier to maneuver it around. This is a lot bigger than the other one because it has the recycler, but it should still fit in here. I'm going to loosen these nuts a little bit more so I can get it in there. Slide it down first. Just watch out for all your other cords. And then push the top in. Push that plate back. Just fits in there underneath this override switch, which I installed in the previous video. We put an override switch in there, and boy, it just clears that switch. I'm going to put these nuts on the side. Tighten them up. If it's hard to get around here to get to your nuts, you can take off this recycler unit, pull the yellow lever toward you, and then just pull this straight back. And then put that off to the side while you're working in here. This is probably the most challenging part. Putting in a bill acceptor is getting this left nut on, but I just got it. I just got it. going to make it too tight. Now let's put the recycler unit back on. Go straight in until you hear a click. There we go. Now we're going to connect up the MDB wires. This one here with the yellow says coin mech only, so you want to make sure you get that on the coin mech. It's a male connector, and the coin mech has the female, so you really only can connect it to this. I'm gonna put it in through here. It'll only go in one way. There we go. And then the other one is gonna go to my Y connector, which goes to the control board and the credit card reader. The MDB goes to the credit card reader first, and then it branches off to the bill acceptor, which then goes to the coin mech. The MDB is just the communication protocol between the coin mech, the credit card reader, and the bill acceptor. So, okay. At this point, even before we put on the bill hopper, we're going to power up the machine because everything is plugged in at this point, because there's a little button that we have to press back here in order to get into the programming mode of the bill acceptor so that I can slide in that little card that I filled out earlier. This is booted up. It's just giving an error saying that it's cassette removed, error CA, which makes sense because it is removed. Here is that card that I filled out. So we gotta press this button, and then that should make the lights on the front start blinking. And when that does, I'm gonna put the bill hopper back on, because in order to fit this through, you have to have the bill hopper in the back. I gotta hit that switch and press it for a couple seconds. I think I got it. Let's see. Should be, oh, it's flashing. So now I put this bill hopper on the back. And then while that's still flashing, put this in face up. There it goes. It reads it, kicks it out, and it should light a couple times. It's registering it. Oh, and I think it worked. And now it's just flashing like it normally would flash. So it should have programmed it now based on my settings here. Now you could also program it with this menu here. You could go through all the selections and program it this way. Now normally this is showing how many bills are in the recycler. And right now we have no dollar bills in there, so we have to load that up. Now it can hold up to 30. Now sometimes the preset setting in here is not set to 30. It might be set to 24 or 25 or something like that. So we're gonna check that first and make sure it will accept, because I wanna keep 30 bills in here, so it always has a lot of change to give the students. So I'm gonna press my mode button, press and hold this mode for a couple seconds. LD is load. I'm gonna press mode again and go through the different menus. I want to get the SU, which is setup. And now I'm going to press and select this. And now I'm in the setup mode. And up here on the back of the bill cassette here, it has what all these different codes mean. And we want to go to capacity, which is CA. So I'm going to go through these and get to CA, capacity. That's how many bills will stack in the recycling unit. So I'm going to select that, and okay, this one is set to 30, which is good. That's the maximum. You can't go above 30. If you do want to change how many bills will stack in the recycler, you press up here on mode and it will go to the lowest number, which is 10. That's the minimum amount that it will keep in the recycler, and then I can just cycle up again to however many I want, up to 30. If I pressed again, it would go back down to 10. But I'm going to keep it at 30. To save that, you hold select until it flashes, and then that's good. To get out of this mode menu, I'm just going to hold mode, and it went up to setup again. If I press and hold again, it goes completely out of the menus and it's showing 0 because there's 0 bills in the recycler. But we have to load the bills in the recycler. So let's go in the load mode. So we're going to hold mode in a couple seconds, and there it is. Now to start loading, we want to press select, and it's saying load 0. So now it's ready for me to start putting bills in the front. Remember, we have this program to only accept dollar bills. So I couldn't put 5s or 10s in here. It wouldn't put that into the recycling unit. I like all my bills in one direction. As you're putting them in on the other side, it will be showing you how many you put in. So you see we've put 9 bills in the recycler, so that's why it's flashing 9. So let me put more in. Like I said, we want to get this up to 30. Now, as students buy drinks and they get change, the machine will always try to keep 30 bills in there. If it gets more than 30 bills, if the recycler is already full, then it's going to divert them up into the bill cassette. If it's if it's below 30, they'll first go into the recycler before it goes up into the cassette. We're at 29. Oh, that's 30. We just put 30 in. That's 30 bills in there. It's completely filled. If I tried to put any more bills in there, it would start giving me credit and go up into the bill cassette or the bill hopper. Back over. Ooh. This little plate can't really go back here because it gets in the way of the recycler, and I don't want to put that across the recycler. It really is not necessary, this little piece of metal, this reinforcement. So I'm just going to completely take it off. The machine will be fine without it. Now the bill acceptor is ready to test, but I do have to give a little note here. I did test it once and I kept getting a problem with the whole unit that every time I did one vend and it gave change, the recycler would shut the entire machine down. And after calling CPI and talking with some technicians back and forth, what we realized was the coin mech on this G3 is pretty old. It's an older Coinco 9300 series, and these things are workhorses, but they don't have all the modern MDB communication that the newer coin mechs have. And what was happening is when you put this in interface 3, if you remember when I programmed this machine and I filled this in, I put it in MDB interface L3 because that said that's what you would use if you weren't using 20s. So that's why I did it. L2 was for when you were using 20s, so I didn't use that one. But what the technician at CPI told me was when it's in L3 mode, the bill acceptor calls for the coin mech to determine how it's going to give change. And the coin mech was calling for it to do it once, but once the recycler gave that change once, everything shut down. So he told me to put it in interface 2, which although it's a mode that if you were using 20s, since I have 20s turned off here in bill enabled, the machine is not going to take 20s anyhow. He said put it in that mode, then the bill acceptor is going to determine how all change is given instead of the coin mech, because this is smarter than this. And when I did that, everything started working fine. So that's not really in the video as far as it shutting down my machine. But I do want to say that if you have a machine with an older coin mech, like one of these guys, the 3-column coin mechs, you're probably going to want to put it in L2 as far as the MDB interface mode. Otherwise, you might get some shutdown errors. But okay, let's give this thing a try. First thing we'll do is just make sure the bill acceptance is working. Remember, I had it in two-way bill acceptance mode, so it should be able to take it this way or this way, but not upside down. In order for it to take it upside down, I would have had to put it in four-way mode. I only have it in two-way mode, so let's first try this. So it doesn't like that, kicks that back. Doesn't like that, but it should be able to go in either way up. Gave us the $1 credit, and that should have stacked. Well, it's probably an escrow. If I hit coin return, it would probably give me that $1 bill back, depending on whether I have it in force vend or not. But let's vend the water bottle.
Thank you. Goodbye.
So there we go, that vended fine. Now let's try putting a 20. Now remember, I don't have this program to accept 20s, so it should kick this back. It doesn't like that, and that's exactly what it should do. Let's try a 5. Gave us $5 credit. Let's try a monster. They're $2.25, so it'll have to give me some coins and some dollars back. It's vending. It's kicking my first $1 back, my second $1, and I hear my 75 cents coming out of the coin mech, and there it is. Let's try a $10 bill. Once again, it'll accept it this way or this way, but not upside down. $10 credit. Let's do another monster. That's the most expensive thing in this machine. It's vending. There's the second monster. So in order for the person to get the next bill, they have to pull this bill away, and then it kicks out the next. That's 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the 75 cents. So it gave the perfect amount of change. So now that the machine has given me $9 back in change, there should only be $21 left in the recycler. And there you go. The 5s, well, the 5, the 10 should be up there, and the first $1 bill that I had put in the machine when the recycler was filled with 30 bills. The recycler can't take more than 30. So that first $1 should be in here in the cassette, along with the 5 and the 10. So everything is working good. Now, if I were to vend something for $1 at this point, instead of going into the cassette, it should be going into the recycling unit. So let's put this $1 in, and we'll vend another water. So now there should be 22 bills in the recycler. So everything seems to be working great with this, but before I finish up, maybe we should throw on one of the stickers that has come with the recycler so that people see that it's giving dollar bills as change and it's taking 5s and 10s. Although you see this here, it's not real visible, and they got some big ones here, some big stickers. So we can do this one right here: accepts 1s, 5s, 10s, pays back in 1s. Before I put that here, I'm gonna just clean that with some alcohol. Before you put a sticker on your machine, you always want to make sure the surface is good and clean. I'm gonna use this isopropyl alcohol and a microfiber cloth. You can't go wrong with that. Let's get that right about here. Oh, it looks straight. And then they even have a little arrow that can point over here toward the bill acceptor. So you want to cover over top of where it says place arrow here. And there we go. pointing right at the bill acceptor. Well, everything seems to be working pretty good with this. I'm pretty excited to see how this works out for me. This is my very first recycler. They're pretty pricey. You know, it's $700 for a new Talos bill recycler, but hopefully it'll pay off, and hopefully it'll get me more of these 5s and 10s. It's going to be exciting to start opening up that bill cassette and seeing them in there instead of just 1s. I'll let you know how it goes. And as always, happy vending.